Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this presentation. My name is Akansha, and I'm an undergraduate student at Lehigh University. Today, I will be presenting our work titled Pandemic, Hybrid Teaching and Stress, Examining Indian Teachers' Socio-Technical Support Practices in Low-Income Schools. We were able to create this work thanks to a wonderful collaboration with Annie from University College London and Rama from Cornell University. COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted work of several essential workers. Teachers are no exceptions. This is especially true for teachers working in low-income schools within India. A key disruption has been the extensive integration of personal smartphones to accommodate hybrid teaching methods to comply with changing regulations. These sudden, top-down enforced new smartphone-based teaching, preparation, and administrative practices contributed to high amounts of stress and burnout. In response, workers often seek out different forms of support that can prove effective in regulating and coping with the stress while ensuring productivity in their work. In the context of teachers in low-income settings, prior history has shown evidence of technology-enabled stress due to COVID-19 pandemic. In comparison, there is a lack of understanding on how such teachers in resource-constrained settings engage in different support structures, especially using smartphones. To fill this gap, our study tries to understand and answer the questions: what kind of support do teachers seek in a post-pandemic educational setting? And what is the role of technology in facilitating such support? To answer aforementioned research questions, we conducted a 3-month qualitative study. We hosted interviews to interact with diverse stakeholders, which comprised of 14 teachers, 5 management people, and 9 personnel from educational nonprofits. All of our interviews were translated into English, transcribed, and analyzed using thematic analysis in MaxQDA. Moving to our findings. Our findings are organized to demonstrate how teachers have used their smartphones in various ways to seek social support. And because of limited time, I will go over our key findings and really encourage you to read more of it in our paper. One of the core findings of this paper is the lack of a top-down support system from high management, such as school principal or headmaster. 88% of participants reported lack of formal support, whether remote or in person, both pre- and post-pandemic. Teachers were expected to develop and rely on their own informal support structures. This is because management perceived teachers as self-reliant and resilient, so they did not realize the need for a proper support system. When teachers used phones as a source of support, they relied exclusively on their smartphones to solve their problems. They focused on using Google and YouTube to answer their questions instead of reaching out to another person. This happens because teachers felt hesitant in asking others for assistance. They considered it as a sign of weakness and incompetency in a profession that was otherwise expected by the management to be self-reliant and resilient. Smartphones allowed to confirm into the expected image of self-reliance required from them. Teachers also use smartphones to regulate their emotions, rising from the stress of their work problems. These emotion-focused strategies include distraction and distancing. Sometimes teachers distracted themselves from work problems and focused on personal activities that help them relax, like listening to music, watching YouTube videos, or scrolling through Instagram. Teachers also practiced distancing to create a kind of psychological space between themselves and the phone to disconnect and recuperate. They did this by hiding the indications of their online presence. This helped them avoid stressful interactions with their colleagues and management. And in extreme cases, they installed custom apps designed to silence phone calls and WhatsApp messages. On the other hand, we found that a majority of teachers used smartphones as a medium of communication to connect with their network and facilitate social support. Teachers utilize smartphone apps like WhatsApp and phone calls to develop their support network further. We noticed several types of problem-focused strategies, and I want to focus on informational support. Teachers contacted their colleagues in different schools to learn about relevant information like exam schedules and guidelines, because they would not have timely access to that information from their own management. Teachers also worked with support personnel who helped them learn to use pedagogical tools like Zoom and Google Meet. Sometimes teachers asked their colleagues to play the role of an information intermediary. For example, they requested a colleague to attend meetings on their behalf during an extremely busy workday. Most of these practices were very problem-focused and offered very limited emotional support that the teachers truly need. The reason teachers couldn't seek emotional support is because they found their work environment lacking confidentiality and a nurturing support system. But despite its limited application, we saw two major types of emotional support: network and esteem support. Specifically, esteem support, which focused on boosting confidence and bolstering an individual's sense of purpose. This kind of support and encouragement is essential for teachers to regain their confidence in their teaching abilities. Educational nonprofit personnel who worked in the same schools shared how schools expected teachers to try new pedagogical approaches, but without giving them the opportunity and safe space to fail, make mistakes, and grow. Nonprofit personnel offered that lack of space by providing them with the much needed support in the form of encouragement when teachers struggled to bring new hybrid methods into remote classrooms. They encouraged teachers' imperfect and failed attempts and provided positive feedback even though they were struggling with it. And this gave them the encouragement and confidence that teachers really needed. So, with all this in mind, we realized the need to reduce the uneven sociotechnical support structures. In particular, we want to balance the one-sided burden that teachers face in seeking sociotechnical support on their own. In the paper, we propose a new form of hybrid collective support intervention. This system takes the burden of seeking support away from teachers and redistributes it to other stakeholders like management and support personnel. Support personnel specifically can play a big role in providing emotional support. They can serve as a neutral third party between teachers and management. They can also provide opportunities like anonymous feedback. So while the management can focus on providing informational and instrumental support, the support organizations can work on providing emotional support to teachers. This system also leverages technology that is appropriate to the local context. It brings together teaching experts who know how to handle such emotion-focused issues. This system requires the collaboration of various actors with the goal of providing contextual, emotion-focused support to teachers. To know more about our design recommendations and findings, we invite you to read our paper online. Thank you for listening.